Hello learner, greetings of the day. Let's discuss about the coordinate system, the coordinate reference frames. First of all, let us know what is a coordinate system. Coordinate system is nothing but if we take up 2D, we have only the x-axis and y-axis, which forms a 2D coordinate system. And if we want to represent 3D geometric entities, we need to go for a 3D coordinate system, which is nothing but the z-axis added onto it. So x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, it forms a 3D coordinate system, and remember, this is the origin what we represent, and origin is always represented as 0, 0, 0. So we can consider this coordinate system as a frame, a single frame. Frame is nothing but x-axis, y-axis, z-axis and the origin. So to begin with, we have the very first coordinate system called world coordinate system. So what is a world coordinate system? We can take an example of a 3D world itself, wherein we have several objects in our real world. It can be a tree, buildings, or it can be the land which contains rocks, mud, everything. So this forms a real world where we have several 3D objects. So we can consider this as a world coordinate system in which several 2D or 3D objects are represented. So we can call it as a convenient Cartesian coordinate system in which 2D or 3D objects are represented. When we speak about a particular object, so let us take in a in a real world, a tree as an object, where object itself has a coordinate system. So let me consider this as a world coordinate system, and in this world coordinate system, let me consider an object. This is an object, say a sphere, which has its own coordinate system. So its own coordinate system is again represented as in the form of x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and the center of the sphere, let me take it as an origin. So let me take this as an object coordinate system. So in our real world, tree is an object, so tree is represented with its own coordinate system called object coordinate system. Again, this tree is represented in world, so we call it as a world coordinate system in which an object is represented. So you can just see here, a sphere has its own coordinate system. We call it as object coordinate system. This is a real world which has its own world coordinate system. Now I want to represent this object in this world. So transformation is required. The transformation is basically from world coordinate system, from object coordinate system to world coordinate system, or else let me take it in the other way around. If I have to start from world, 3D world, so it is a world coordinate system which has to be, in which I have to represent this 3D sphere. So I have to now transform, or I have to convert this world coordinate system to object coordinate system, not the other way around. Okay. So here I am converting, or transformation is required from world coordinate system to the object coordinate system. So the world in which this object should be represented. So this transformation is required. This is the very first step of transformation from world to object. So let's continue now. The next coordinate system what we have is the screen coordinate system. So what is a screen coordinate system? I can consider the screen as a computer screen, a monitor screen, which is nothing but a 2D screen. So now finally the object what we have represented in our world coordinate system, I want to obtain the image of that object on the computer screen. So how do I get the image of the object on the screen? For getting the image, I require one viewer. Viewer is nothing but, let me assume that as a camera. So using the camera, let me click the picture of the object, and now the image of the object is appearing on the film plane of my camera, and that particular image now I have to transfer onto my screen, and that transformation is now required. Again, that transformation we call it, I call it as projection. So what is projection? Basically, transformation from the camera coordinate system to the screen coordinate system. So why do I call it as a camera coordinate system? Because using the camera I have clicked the image, click the picture or click the snap of the object which is represented in 3D world. Now that object is transformed to camera's film plane. So camera also has its own coordinate system. So object coordinate system is transformed to camera coordinate system. Now finally, where do I have to obtain the image of the object there? So the image of the object should be appearing on my screen. Screen is computer screen, which is again 2D screen, and this transformation from camera to 2D screen, I call it as a projection. So you can call it as a 2D projection or 3D projection. So my screen is basically a 2D screen, so onto which I can project my project the image. So here let me tell only about the screen coordinates. Here you can just see the screen coordinates. So the screen coordinates, it looks like a rectangle. So this rectangle has a boundary there. So what is the boundary of the rectangle? I can take this as my minimum boundary. So let me take this horizontal ways as x-axis. So this minimum boundary is nothing but x minimum. So vertically I can take it as y-axis. So since it is a 2D screen, I have represented this as with the help of x-axis and y-axis only. So my minimum boundary is x minimum and the minimum y boundary is y minimum. Okay, so what about the maximum boundary here? This maximum point you call it as, see, up to x max I can have my screen maximum boundary up to x max. And what about y? Again, up to y max I can have my y boundary as well. So x max and y max are the other extreme boundary of my rectangle or 2D screen. Okay, so on the image of the object, if I have to get the complete image of the object, my image should be inside this rectangle or inside the screen, or I can say it should be within the boundary of my screen. So my object coordinate or the image coordinate should be greater than or equal to x minimum, y minimum, and at the same time it should be less than or equal to x maximum and y maximum. So any portion of the object that goes out of this boundary cannot be, it will not appear on the screen. Suppose if I want to have the image of a tree, so you can just see tree trunk is over here within the boundary, but the upper portion of the tree is above the boundary. So do I get the image, complete image of the screen? Can I view the complete image of the tree here on the screen? No, I get only this portion, that is below portion. We can see the lower portion of the tree only is visible because only that portion is within the boundary of the screen. Upper portion is clipped off. It is just outside the boundary. So you call this transformation as a projection, and this projection we have here in OpenGL. I have specific function to represent this projection in OpenGL. I have already discussed, but I am going to show that shortly. The coordinate systems that I was speaking about, you can just see here. The first one is the world coordinate system. You can see the world coordinate system is here, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis with the origin here. And you can just see this is a object coordinate system. There is one 3D object cube that is represented with its own coordinate system. You call it as object coordinate system. Now I have to represent this object in this world. So this transformation is first transformation, and then using the camera I capture the image of the object. So camera also has its own coordinate system. So convert this object to camera coordinate system. Finally I have to map the camera coordinates or the image that has appeared on the film plane, that should be now transformed to the computer screen. So computer screen is basically a 2D screen with its own coordinate system. So transformation from camera to screen coordinate system is basically called projection. We can just see now the a basic procedure over there. I said about the screen coordinate system. So in order to obtain the image on my 2D screen, finally, I need to have certain pixels stored in the buffer from where the pixels will be moved on to my screen. Exactly, right? So here, after clicking the picture using my camera, I store all the picture information. So picture information is nothing but a pixel. So these pixels, it may be 2D pixel or it may be 3D pixel. So when I say a pixel, it is nothing but the information about x coordinate and y coordinate of the image. Also it can be the color information of the image, or it can be any other attribute like size of the object or thickness of the object or any other attribute of the object. So all this information, in general I can call it as pixel information. So this will be stored inside my buffer. So that buffer is frame buffer. So in order to store that information in my buffer, from where to where? It is from the camera to my frame buffer. If I have to store, I can use this basic procedure or the function called set pixel, where the x coordinate and y coordinate is basically stored inside the buffer. So after storing inside the buffer, now this pixel information should be moved on to the screen, because in order to get the image of the object on my screen, on the 2D screen, I need to do this first retrieving of information, pixel information from the buffer. So the function to retrieve this pixel information is get pixel. So get pixel is nothing but get the x coordinate and y coordinate and also retrieve the color of that particular pixel. So all this information is retrieved out of the buffer and that is moved onto the screen. So in OpenGL we have a function for this, to do this. So what is that? It is GL flush. So that is the equivalent OpenGL function GL flush, which basically does this operation of retrieving the information, pixel information out of the frame buffer and displaying that onto the screen. So this is the information that is stored in the buffer. So apart from the x coordinate, y coordinate, as I already said, color information also is stored. Now apart from this color attribute and xy, there is one more information called depth information that is stored. So what is that depth information? I'll just show you that. You can just see the depth information. See, this is a 3D cube. This is a 3D cube. I want to display the 3D cube on my computer screen. I want to display the image of this cube on the screen. So when I say a cube, it has total 6 faces. So 1, 2, behind face 3, 4, 5 and one bottom face 6, total 6 faces. So at one view, so I can say this is a front view of the cube. So for the front view of the cube, not all 6 faces are visible, right? So that behind face, there are few faces which are hidden from the viewer, provided viewer is in front of the cube. If it is a front view, viewer is in front of the cube. There are few faces, back faces, which is hidden from the viewer. So those hidden faces you need not render. So whenever you're displaying the pixels, whenever you're displaying the image of the cube on the screen, whenever you're displaying the pixels of the cube on the screen, only those front faces which are visible to the viewer, those pixels only you're supposed to move onto the screen, retrieve from the buffer and move onto the screen. Those pixels which corresponds to the behind face or hidden face, that is you can see this back face and the bottom face which are hidden from the viewer. So the pixels corresponding to those faces you need not move from the frame buffer to the display window. So that is called as depth information. So basically, if at all you want to display a 3D image, depth testing should be performed. Depth testing is removing the hidden surface, or in other words, displaying only those pixels which are visible to the viewer. So you have in OpenGL, in order to perform the depth testing, you have a function called GL enable depth test, and this is applicable only for 3D objects. Remember, if it is a 2D object, there is nothing called hidden surface. Depth information will be 0 for all 2D. It is 0 for all 2D images or 2D objects. So only for 3D objects there is something called depth information which is to be enabled. So far we were discussing about the absolute values with respect to screen coordinate. So I'll tell you what is called absolute coordinates and relative coordinates. So if I have a screen here, and if I have the boundary, minimum boundary of my screen as 0, 0, and the maximum boundary of my screen as 500, 500. What is the meaning of this? So my screen resolution is 500 pixels I'll be able to display along x-axis, and again 500 pixels I can display along y-axis. So the meaning is 500 cross 500, so total 500 pixels, up to 500 pixels I can display along x, and 500 y pixels I can display. Now here, if this is my boundary, absolute pixel is nothing but, suppose I'll take here something called as 100, 100. So what is this position 100, 100 means? It is x coordinate 100 and y coordinate is 100. So x coordinate is 100 and y coordinate is 100. So if I am plotting this particular point, I call this as absolute pixel, absolute value, absolute coordinate. But what is relative coordinate? Relative coordinate is nothing but it is with respect to offset, it is with respect to range. Exact value or exact coordinate you don't represent here. Offset is with respect to the origin, you specify some distance or you specify some range. It is something like, if I say 50, so 50 from the origin, and you have given some base value. So base value is say 100, and 50 is nothing but the range value or offset value that is specified. 50 is the offset value that is specified. So if this is given, you are supposed to now calculate the relative coordinates with reference to the base. So what is the base? I have taken origin as my base, and now add the offset value that is given to you to both x coordinate and y coordinate. So 0 is the x coordinate, that is the origin, so for which I am going to add this offset value 50, comma, this is my x coordinate now. And now if at all I have to calculate my y coordinate, again I need to add this for this y coordinate 0 with respect to origin, so add with the same offset value 50, same offset value 50. So now I'm going to get a new position, and you call this as a relative coordinate that you have calculated. And what is that new position? 0 plus 50, the new x coordinate is 50, comma, and the new y coordinate is again 50. So 0 plus 50 is again 50. So this is the relative x coordinate and y coordinate that we have just calculated with the help of the offset value. So you have two types of coordinates specification, that is absolute and relative. So absolute is exact, but relative is you calculate it with the help of offset. You can just see now here how a 2D world coordinate system reference frame is specified, okay, in OpenGL. So we'll just see in OpenGL what is the corresponding OpenGL function to represent all this. So I was just saying about the screen coordinate. You can just see here, this is a screen coordinate, the gray section, and within the screen coordinate I have defined or I have drawn one display window. I hope you all know now what is a display window. A rectangle portion or a small portion inside the screen again I have chosen, which is now going to be my display window, or it is a portion where I am going to display finally my graphics. The entire screen I can take it as my display window, but I don't want that. Only one portion I have chosen as my display window where I am going to render the graphics. So here for my display window I have the boundary. So minimum boundary is given by x minimum and y minimum. The y minimum is also represented here. The maximum boundary is x max, and the maximum y boundary is again y max. So y is vertically, x is horizontally. So this rectangular portion is acting as my display window. Now OpenGL function, in order to have the projection, finally in order to display the graphics on my display window, I need to represent these three. So what is it? The first one is GL projection. So what is this GL projection? Basically, as I already said, projection is transformation from camera coordinate system to my screen coordinate system. So I have a camera. On my film plane of the camera, I have obtained the image of the object, and that information I am going to store in my frame buffer. So the transformation is required now from camera coordinate system, or in other words from the frame buffer to my display windows, that is into my screen coordinate. This transformation is nothing but I am setting using GL projection. So how do I set this? From the back end, actually, the moment I set this projection mode, from the back end actually a matrix will be set, and I call this matrix as projection matrix. So what is that projection matrix? Basically, I have to now convert this camera coordinate system, which is again represented as a matrix, and the screen coordinate system, which is again represented as a matrix. I said I have to transform from camera to screen. So this transformation is nothing but basically a matrix operation, which is nothing but matrix multiplication. So what is matrix multiplication? I am multiplying camera coordinate matrix to my screen coordinate matrix, and that resultant what I get is nothing but the matrix which represents the object inside the display window. The object inside the film plane of camera is in the form of matrix. Now here the screen itself is in the form of a matrix. Multiply this camera with the screen, you get the resultant matrix is nothing but, this is represented, this is nothing but the object inside the display window, this resultant matrix. Initially this matrix will be empty. So initially this matrix will be empty. So in order to have, instead of having this empty matrix, I will load my matrix with the identity matrix. So you all know what is identity matrix. The you can say the diagonal values is nothing but 0. Rest all the values are 1s there. So rest all the values are 1s except the diagonal values. So this is the identity matrix. So whatever matrix you multiply by this identity matrix, you get the resultant as that the other matrix. Matrix 1, if you multiply with the identity, matrix 1 itself will be the resultant there. So anything you multiply by 1, you get the same value there, right? Same way. So you load this matrix with the identity matrix initially, and now you are ready to go with the next screen. You are ready to go with this matrix. So what is that matrix? Screen matrix. It is nothing but my boundary that I have set. So my screen matrix is the boundary. So minimum boundary x min y min and the x max y max. I had given in my example x min y min as 0 0, x max y max as 500 500. You can consider that as a value, boundary values, and you can represent that in the form of a matrix, and that became my screen matrix. So that will be now multiplied with identity matrix. So now once you multiply that with identity matrix, you are going to get again this boundary screen value only. So this screen matrix will be now multiplied with the camera matrix, and that resultant matrix is nothing but the matrix of the object, or you can say the image matrix, which you are representing inside the display window. So this is the OpenGL function in order to which actually tells about this transformation.